Crystal Reports for Enterprise provides access to template reports that you can use as a starting point for your own reports. Mapping a template report to a data source follows the same steps as mapping any pre-existing report to a new data source. In this tutorial, you will select a report template and connect it to a data source. Select a report template to use as the foundation for your report. Note that you can select templates from the main Crystal Reports for Enterprise landing page, or from the New Report menu. Click the New List. Select from Web Template. The templates are stored online and are categorized by type. View the available sales and customer contact templates and select the invoice report. Click Sales and Customer Contact. Note that you can see a preview, description, and user rating for each template before downloading. Select Invoice Report. Click OK. When you download a template, you can either connect the report to your own data source immediately, or preview the report first. By previewing a template before setting a data source, you can examine the report in detail to see if it meets your needs. You can also delete unwanted report elements and make other changes before connecting to your data. Click Preview. If you choose to preview before connecting to a data source, a tooltip displays to remind you to use the Set Data Source Location command from the Data menu when you want to connect the template to your data. Examine the report structure. Click the Structure tab. The template contains a detailed explanation of the report design. Close the Data Explorer and then examine the rest of the template. Click Close. Click to scroll down. Note that the template contains an invoice number field. In this example, the data source you will be using does not contain invoice number data. You can delete unwanted elements of a template prior to connecting to a data source. Alternatively, during data source mapping you can specify how to handle items for which your data source has no match. Click to scroll up. Map the template to a universe data source. Note that the process of mapping a template to a data source is the same as that for mapping any Crystal report to a new data source. Click Data. Select Set Data Source Location. Add a connection to your target data source. Click Add Connection. Click Browse Repository. Select the Extreme SQL Universe. Click Finish. Click Plus to expand Extreme SQL. When mapping, you can point connections, tables, or individual fields of the current data source to the target data source. Attempt to map the invoice data simple table on the left to the Extreme SQL Universe on the right. Click Invoice Data Simple. Click Map. In this case, the two data sources are not similar enough to enable automatic mapping. Individually map the fields by selecting the source field on the left and mapping it to the appropriate target field on the right. Click Plus to expand Customer. Click Contact First Name String. After you select the source field, Crystal Reports displays a percentage value to the right of each of the available target fields to help you identify appropriate matches. The match percentage is based on the field name as well as the data type. Click Contact First Name String. Click Map. Notice that after you map a field, it displays with the check mark in the target data source list. The mapping is also indicated in the data mapping pane at the bottom of the window. Click Customer ID Number. Click Customer ID Number. Click Map. For the purposes of this tutorial, several additional report fields have already been mapped for you. There are now just two fields left, neither of which matches perfectly with the fields in the target data source. Map unit price currency to the best match in the target data source. Click Unit Price Currency. Notice that the best match, unit price number, is a different data type than the source field. Because of this difference, only an 80% match is indicated between the fields. Click Unit Price Number. When you hold the mouse over the unit price number field, a tooltip displays, indicating that if you map it to the unit price currency field, Crystal Reports will automatically create a formula to convert the data type. Click Map. In this case, the target data source has no match for the invoice ID string field. When there is no appropriate match for a field, You can choose to either remove the field from the report, or to apply a placeholder formula, so the report structure is unchanged but the field displays placeholder data. Create a placeholder formula for the invoice ID string field. Click Invoice ID string. Click Placeholder formula. Click Done. Click the Page tab. The report now displays the data from the target data source. Note that the invoice number field displays placeholder data. You have successfully mapped a template report to a new data source. This is the end of the tutorial.